Hello vinyl community, this is Tommy in North Carolina, and I'm going to do a video that's kind of a twofer here. I'm going to respond to the black and white album cover thread, and when I went to pull the albums, I realized that I had a whole lot of albums with black and white covers, and so I wanted to show them to you, and I kind of wanted to get outside of some of the normal stuff that you guys have probably been seeing in this thread, and some of it you probably have been. And also James Griffiths, the vinyl professor, posted a video earlier where he asked the question, how many or how long has it been for you to buy a record? And this kind of serves two purposes. So I'm going to start with that because it is a black and white cover. It's Get the Knack. It took me a very, very, very long time to finally buy this album on vinyl. And the main reason why is because I was holding out for the Wally Trogget mastered copy on both sides. It's a very common record, and I've picked it up everywhere I've gone. I'll probably still look for it everywhere I go. But if you watched my video from over the summer where me and my friend Sean from New Orleans, hi Sean, we went on a record crawl as we normally do in the area. I found this at a comic store for $4, but it was the Double Wally, and I was holding out for it. I never bought this album ever on vinyl for that reason, and I finally got it because I love this record. It's a great power pop record and just a fun listen, black and white cover. But it took me years to finally buy this on vinyl, and that's why I'm holding out. So let me get to my long stack of black and white album covers, and we'll just go through them, and I'll try to quickly talk about each one. We'll start with the Allman Brothers at Fillmore East. Classic live LP, featuring, a lot of great moments, great cover, awesome black and white album cover, and of course that's a classic record. The next one is Brendan Benson. A lot of people know Brendan Benson because he is sort of one half of the creative team in the Raconteurs with Jack White. And this is an album that came out in 2012, What Kind of World. Solid power pop rock record. Good stuff from Brendan Benson. If you don't know his solo work and you like good rock music, good guitars, definitely check him out. One of my favorite bands, The Byrds, farther along. This incarnation of The Byrds in particular because of guitarist Mr. Clarence White. And love this version of The Byrds. This is the early 70s. Way beyond what the original version is. Byrds fans are really mixed about them. But I love Clarence's playing. And so, great album cover, black and white. Here's one, Alex Chilton, Box Bottom. This is on the German import label Line Records. And, of course, Box Bottom is a play on the Box Tops, his first band from Memphis before Big Star. And, of course, he has a play on that. Bach, as in the composer Bach. Box Bottom, Box Tops. Clever lad, Alex. The next one is a vinyl community favorite, Elvis Costello, King of America. This is an album that came out in '86. It's actually credited to the Costello Show featuring Elvis Costello. Elvis Costello, featuring the Attractions and the Confederates. The Confederates were guys like James Burton and Jerry Schiff, who played with Elvis Presley. Really a really, really great album full of some great songs, Indoor Fireworks. Here's another one that I've shown on the VC before, but worth showing again because of the great black and white cover. James Luther Dickinson, Dixie Fried, Memphis artist. Album he recorded for Atlantic. This album was reissued recently by Light in the Attic, but this is an original copy. And just a wild record. Go back to my video. I can't remember which one. I think it was my prized collections, and I talk about that album. A lot of people have been showing Dylan records and the times they were changing. And, of course, there's Under the Red Sky. Several good black and white Dylan album covers. This is one of my favorites. Time Out of Mind, the 1997 album on Columbia Records. This album, of course, was an interesting record. It won the Grammy for Album of the Year for Bob. And a lot of you know the story. Before this album was released, Bob became very ill, was in the hospital. We thought we were going to lose Bob. But this is sort of a big comeback record for him. This one, produced by Daniel Lanois. Funny enough, featuring the playing of James Luther Dickinson. Jim Dickinson plays on this album on Lovesick. But there's that one. Here's one probably some of my English vinyl community subscribers can talk about. Ian Dury, Ian Dury and the Blockheads. This is New Boots and Panties. I got turned on to this album by a buddy of mine that worked at Bebop Record Store. You've probably heard me talking about Bebop back in Jackson. And he was kind of talking about Ian and had me check out the CD, and I liked it. Next one, two obvious black and whites. I'm going to show them together. the Fleetwood Macs, self-titled, which was the first one with Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham when they joined the band, with a great cover here with Mick and John McVie. And then, of course, there is Stevie and Mick Fleetwood, Rumors, the classic album. Both of those fantastic. This is a Ken Perry cut. I love the sound of it. I bought this album, and funny enough, when I bought it, I think that's blood, which is kind of icky and gross. But I kept it on there because I thought it was fitting that it has it on there. So if I get sick, you'll know why. Another album I've talked about before, but great black and white cover, Little Stevie Orbit by Steve Forbert. Forbert is a fantastic songwriter and just good, solid songs. This one's probably been shown here. Worth showing again. Peter Gabriel's So, the 1987 album featuring Sledgehammer, Red Rain, Big Time. All really good songs. Also Mercy Street, really, really good song. Peter Gabriel. I dig Peter. Another one, International Submarine Band. This is the album from the late 60s featuring Graham Parsons on the Lee Hazelwood Industries. Mine is not an LHI. It is a Sundazed reissue. I also have the mono. Another favorite artist, quite a few black and white covers for him, but this is the album to get if you only get one. It's Southeastern by Jason Isbell. Song for song, this album will blow you away. Not much to the cover, just a stark black and white photo of Jason there. Some of you know him from the Drive-By Truckers, but if you're into songwriting, this guy's probably one of the best out there right now. One of my favorite sort of new wave albums, Joe Jackson, Look Sharp on the A&M label. Just love that cover with the snazzy shoes. Here's an artist that doesn't get a lot of play on the VC, but I'm going to show him some love. Mr. Phil Keaggy, guitarist. A lot of people know him. He's a Christian guitarist primarily, but he gets a lot of comparisons to Paul McCartney. This is an album of his from around 1980, I believe. Play Through Me with a, don't know about the mustache there, Phil. He quickly lost that, but really great artist. Pick on me for not being totally black and white, red lettering and border, but John Cougar Mellencamp's Scarecrow. Mellencamp gets a lot of heat for being probably a poor man's Springsteen, and he kind of, I think, I read an interview where he said, he kind of started the Americana thing with this album, and he may be right. This is a solid album, good songs, big production, definitely good to listen to. All right, Jay Party, maybe you can help me with this one because you're a big Joni Mitchell fan. Hejira, is that pronounced correctly? Either way, black and white cover. And there it is with the road and just a really neat cover. Big fan of Joni's. Another one I've shown before, but black and white, interesting record. Infinite Rider on the Big Dogma by Mr. Michael Nesmith. This is one from the late 70s. This is, I believe it's a Ken Perry cut on this too. Mastered by Capitol, even though it's on his Pacific Arts label. Late 70s pop, LA kind of polished record, and definitely not the country stuff that if you're familiar with, a little bit different. Randy Newman, Little Criminals. Of course, this is the album with I believe I Love LA, which was the big one, and of course Short People, which was a well-known song for Randy. Several Harry Nilsson black and whites, but I went with this one just for the sake of. Scared they're all going to fall here, so bear with me, sorry. Harry Nilsson, Harry, this is album 1970 on the RCA Victor label. Not much to say, just a photo of young Harry. Next one, we're going to go with the other Elvis Presley, That's the Way It Is. This is kind of the soundtrack to the movie. He had got back to live performing. This is on the RCA Victor Black label. These are reissues, I think, that came out, but I love those Black label RCAs. They're good pressings, they sound good, and you can usually get them for a good price. Great black and white cover, great album, Prince and the Revolution Parade. This was the soundtrack to the movie Under the Cherry Moon, which was a black and white film. This album has Kiss, and of course Mountains, which is a great Prince song. Fun album. Christopher Tracy. Fun stuff. A recent pickup for me, and a great album, and black and white cover, Automatic for the People. This is the reissue that just came out earlier this year. It is a Chris Bellman cut. Fans of good sounding LPs and Chris Bellman, this is the one to get. It's just a fantastic record. I'm kind of rushing through these just because I have so many. Here's the Raconteurs, Jack White's band with Brendan Benson, who I showed earlier. Jack and Brendan. This is Consolers of the Lonely. This is a beautiful record, and I'll go ahead and pull it out for you guys just to show it off. But it's got this triple fold out. Consolers of the Lonely. And I don't know if many of you know Jack or the Raconteurs. Very different from the White Stripes and what you may sort of know from them. But good stuff. An obvious one, but I'm going to point it out. I hope it qualifies, even though it's got the lettering. Black and white cover, though. This is an RTI pressing, a later edition. It says limited edition. It sounds really, really good. Exile on Main Street, the Rolling Stones. Bear with me here. My records are falling forward because I have so many here. We're getting to the end, though. We're in the R's. Rush, Permanent Waves. This is one that was given to me by my friend Sean because I think he ordered it from Amazon. It had a seam split, and he got a full refund on it, and they didn't ask for the record back. And he said, "What, do you want it?" Sure, I'll take it for free, especially. It's the reissue, but sounds good. Billy Joe Shaver, Old Five and Dimers Like Me. This is Billy Joe Shaver's kind of lumped in with that outlaw movement. This is on the Monument record label, which some of you know from Chris Christopherson. But this is a really good record and very rare. And there's a joke. If you follow me on Instagram and Twitter, TommyBurton75, I was playing some Merle Haggard records. There was a collection that I came into with a lot of good old country records in great shape. But this guy, JMR, and unfortunately JMR decided he was going to write on all the records. So I had a thread going a couple of weeks ago. I was playing some Merle Haggard and getting caught up on some listening. And the JMR joke kind of was going on and kind of took off. But JMR took really good care of his records. The records are clean and they play well, but man, he marked on all of them. Black and White Classic, Bookends by Simon and Garfunkel. Probably my favorite album by Simon and Garfunkel. But there it is. The Black and White Classic. Born to Run, Bruce Springsteen. You know, classic LP. It's a gatefold, and of course I'm not going to pull it out. You've seen it. Steely Dan, Pretzel Logic. Another black and white. There you go. Guy with the hot pretzel stand right there. Get him now. It's another one, kind of going back to the Byrds and Clarence White, Marty Stewart and his Fabulous Superlatives. This is actually an autograph copy. I got it signed by Marty and the rest of the guys in the band. Really, really good band. Kenny Vaughn, just phenomenal guitarist. Marty Stewart, the reason I was tying in the Byrds, Marty Stewart owns Clarence White's Telecaster with the B Bender installed on it, and he's a big fan of Clarence, and rightfully so. But this is an album they did called Saturday Night, Sunday Morning. It's a 2 LP set. The first record, Saturday Night, party songs, having a good time. The second LP is your gospel Sunday morning stuff. Really, really good stuff. Another album I've talked about here, one of my favorite LPs, Pete Townshend's All the Best Cowboys Have Chinese Eyes. Interesting cover, Pete holding the V guitar, but I love this record. I have an extreme fondness for it, and the songs on this record have been very inspiring to me. I know it's not considered one of Pete's greatest, but for me, it's one of the best. Mule Variations by Tom Waits. Great black and white cover there. Maybe more of a sepia tone, but Tom Waits, what can you say? Another one I've shown here before, worth showing again, black and white cover, Scott Walker. Scott Walker, just an interesting artist. This is an import on the Philips label. We're going to go back to Jack White one more time. Black and white cover. This is the White Stripes, Icky Thump. That is not part of the cover. That's actually a seal that was on the cover that you had to cut out, but that's the actual cover photo. Icky Thump by the White Stripes, their last full LP that they did. And finally, last but certainly not least, definitely black and white cover. This is Neil Young and Crazy Horse, Zuma. This is an import copy of this record that I picked up. Looks like it's from Germany, I believe. But really, really quiet pressing. So it sounds good. So I managed to keep it under 15 minutes, thank goodness, and I killed 2 birds with 1 stone, so that's even better. Like, comment, subscribe below. Thanks to everybody that's been watching and interacting. I try to get back to as many of you as I can. I hope you're having a fantastic holiday season, and I'll be checking in soon. And that, you know, as the Christmas presents start rolling in, hopefully we'll see some new acquisitions. Again, follow me on Instagram and Twitter. It's TommyBurton75, and I usually will show what I'm spinning there and share that with everyone. So I appreciate anyone that wants to follow me on those feeds. Greatly appreciated. Until then, I hope you guys are having a safe week and a good weekend, and I will see you again very soon. Thanks for watching.